is E-Business YeMusic podcast, where the game behind the music gets real.
Yes, and again, E-Business YeMusic podcast with Tando Nyame and Umjito Nyama is back right here on Vuma FM. And before you two, we are still in this journey of finding out to go see, is this literally a fame versus fortune industry, or is it literally a formal industry? Because a lot of people keep saying, lento yenu informal, yabo, lento yenu informal. So right now, I've got a few important guests, as I had promised, who are going to help us unpack Ogutsi, is our sector what it actually should be? Are we doing what we should be doing? And if not, what are we not doing right? So let's just get right into it. I've got two important guests right here with us. And ngizoqala njengobaba uVuyisile Mshudulu, who is the head of culture at the city of Johannesburg. You might ask, city of Joburg, aren't you in Durban? That's not the point. You'll understand exactly what's happening. Sir, are you well?
I'm well, thank you, and it's lovely to be on Vuma FM and also on your podcast.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
and you are super, super welcome. And trust me, after this, I've got a feeling we'll be wanting more of you right here, just to get some insights. And again, we also have another brother. I call him a personal, brother of mine. He's my younger brother. Acts like my older brother so many different times. A lot of people say he bullies them. I suppose I'm one of those people, but still, I love him. He's on the show today. This dude, by the way, he's got so many colors in his space. He'll tell us all about it. He's been a musician, he's been a producer, he's been a manager, he's running an academy, he's doing so many different things. He's an author. I don't know what it is, but one thing I do know for sure what he is, since me and I also run Kumisa, is that he used to be my student, so I get to bully him with that because he did artist management at my school, at Kumisa Artist Management Masterclass. But I see collab right now. Last corner is that I've got Umchi Tektwa, Ugift Sabelo, Abanye Batekehla, Mdlalose. Welcome, bro.
Thank you so much, Nyamini, for
Are you
having
good?
us. No, this is amazing.
Thank you so
It's
much
good
for.
to be home.
It's good to be home.
It's good
Umchi
to be home.
Tawalalo.
No, I'm from here.
My
My father's from Lamont.
Elamont.
My mother's from Ulundi, so I'm a KZN guy.
Bafet. So nje, the best of both worlds. Both
Yeah.
nje here and north.
Adopted by the city of Joburg, so that's where I'm based. But I'm from
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much and welcome, bro. We
Same.
really look forward to connecting with you. And I think I really want to start here with my opening line. Bamshudulu, you work right at the helm of Joburg City when it comes to the cultural and creative spaces, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about your role in Johannesburg? And I say this because real soon we are going to have your counterpart right here in the city of Durban so that we can start looking at how we can grow our sector from a municipal standpoint. And I think you're the perfect start off because we've seen some of the stuff that you've been supporting, some of the projects you've been doing. So could you tell us a little bit more about your role and all of that?
No, sure. Thanks again for inviting us and also for the warm hospitality that we have experienced at Tegwini, beautiful city.
Operative word warm,
Yeah.
all year round.
Yes. But the warmth comes from the hearts of the people.
Amen.
Yeah. So cities, I will start by saying that cities are very important components in the mechanization of economies.
Right.
Yeah. And the city of Johannesburg is one of the most strategic cities in the African continent.
Right.
And certainly by virtue of that, also one of the most strategic cities in the world. And therefore, the role that it plays from a socio-economic perspective, but also from a political perspective, is quite immense, in the African continent and in the country itself. And inevitably, because it is a city that attracts so many people, it then becomes, a center for culture.
Right.
And it becomes a cultural melting pot. The city of Johannesburg is one of the most diversely populated cities in the world.
Right.
Where you have literally a representation of almost every nationality from around the world in one city. And coexisting, beautifully, not always, but like any other city, it's got its contradictions.
Right.
You know? Now, being in charge of the cultural portfolio of such a city, it's a daunting responsibility, because ultimately you have to now imagine and shape the city in a way that it can meet the expectations. So we are one of the cities that represents the utopia and the aspirations
Right.
for so many people.
Right.
Creatives come to the city of Johannesburg with the idea that their dreams are going to be realized in that city. And you now have this responsibility to create an enabling environment for people to meet their dreams. So in a sense, that's really at a macro level what the role is about. But at a functional level, I'm responsible for managing the cultural portfolio, and it includes, the arts and culture portfolio, which looks at our flagship initiatives.
Right,
All
right.
of them implemented under Arts Alive as a brand.
Oh, wow, okay.
Arts
See
Alive,
that, yeah.
many people knew Arts Alive as a festival. In the last 33 years that we've been running it, it used to be a festival, but until 3 years ago that we reimagined it, and now it is an assemblage of cultural and artistic offerings. So it is a brand, and under that we've got many sub-brands, of other festivals that exist, and one of those flagships is Jazz in the Lights.
Right.
We've got the Joburg Choral, Joburg Indigenous Gospel, we've got Embo, we've got Clash of the Regions. So there are many other sub-brands under Arts Alive. Now,
okay.
we also manage the portfolio of cultural facilities, the museums of the city,
wow.
making sure that the heritage is protected and promoted, but also a huge responsibility, because if you follow the genesis of museums in South Africa, they were not created with black people in mind, so they most of them have a colonial construct. So part of the task is to make sure that these institutions are reflective of the society they are supposed to serve, and therefore a decolonial agenda then also becomes sacrosanct
right.
in that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that's actually very interesting, because it brings me to think that there seems to be this ongoing divide between heritage and cultural expression versus economic activities within that sphere.
Yes.
So would you maybe, in your opinion and learned understanding, maybe then say this is why our industry constantly and continues to be referred to as an informal sector, and maybe we might not even look at the music element of it only, but we can look at the overall cultural and creative industries as a whole, because for some reason we don't find ourselves getting into that economic dialogue, discussions or conversations that are held, whether it's in government or other spaces where we actually matter as a contributor of the GDP in the country.
Look, the characterization of the what we do as the cultural and creative industries in itself has got elements of obscurity,
Right.
because there is a lot that then gets excluded from that.
Right.
Because in the African cosmology, the generation of creative capital has not always been for commercial purposes.
Right.
In fact, for much of the value that is created in our cultural capital, it's for humanizing reasons rather than for commercial reasons. So we have to find a balance in terms of extracting the elements that are designed for the humanizing effect against those that are designed for the commercialization effect. And not everything is industrial, and not everything is supposed to be industrial.
True.
So therefore, we need to find a way, even in our nomenclature, how we characterize the work that we do. And it is for that reason that you find that many creatives are not therefore motivated by their natural impulse to create, but they are motivated by what the market dictates that they must create. and they find a discord between, therefore, the spiritual, gifts that somebody has, either to create music or to create art,
Right.
are not being serviced,
Right.
because you are chasing the things that you think the market wants, and you are not responding to isphiwo sabadala. So these are the things that we need to, recenter ourselves and understand that if you uphathisiwe isphiwo of creating inkcubeko, you have to respond to it in a particular way. And of course, yes, because you have to live, you can also create commercial things, but don't neglect your
isphiwo, the
spiritual
calling.
aspects that are humanizing society and facilitating healing and ensuring that society is centered around certain values, Afrocentric values rather than Eurocentric values.
Wow. Okay. So those are the gaps that we've identified that we seek to perhaps start bridging a little bit. So maybe my question to you before I come to a gift would be then, how do municipalities maybe realize that element, the importance thereof, but also the fact that these people also have to live and we can sort of empower them? Because I come across a lot of people in different parts of KZN, across different districts, where people are always saying, masipala kangenze lutho mina ngenza lokhu na lokhu na lokhu, masipala kangenze lutho. So, and you could see ukuthi umasipala na uthi, but what can I do for you?
Yes.
I don't know how to. So in that sense, what needs to happen? Who teaches who, and how do we make sure that ultimately we understand the calling element, the spiritual element, the gifting element, but the commercial value is also recognized?
Yes. So, I mean, people are the government
Yeah.
that they expect.
Right.
Because at some level, everybody is a government over their own lives.
Yes.
So you are the one who governs your lives. And then there are other governments that you then delegate your power to take care of certain aspects of your life. And that's how a government is formed, whether it's a local government, a provincial government, or a national government.
Indeed.
It's because the people have said that these aspects of our lives, we will not always be able to, all of us, do them. So we have to delegate part of the power of governing our own lives to a certain group of people that will take care of it. But at the end of the day, the power is yours. You are
Right.
delegating it. Now, one of the things that has happened is that the way in which societies are governed has eroded the agency of the individual, particularly the African.
Yeah.
We have eroded our agency to do things for ourselves, and therefore we expect that those things that we have the power to do to change our own circumstances have to be done by someone else.
Right.
And it's also how Western influences have eroded African values in a way that creates it hollows us out, and then it deposits elements of Eurocentricity in us, and we become more individualistic, we become more selfish, we become more dependent, and therefore instead of creating systems that are inducing self-determination, we are creating systems that are inducing dependency. So
follow the leader type
yes,
thing.
Yes. So and now everybody also wants to be a leader. Nobody wants to be a follower. And even the way that we teach our children, we tell them, no, all of these kids are going to be
Yes.
future leaders.
Yes.
Young people are future leaders. Nobody is telling young people that only a certain percentage of you are going to be the leaders. The rest of you
Absolutely.
have to be future followers
Yep.
and
Yep.
effective followers.
Absolutely.
So this is the Western psychology. Now, the value of the arts, and as policymakers at local government level, we have to be conscious of how we design policies, we design strategies
Yes.
and systems,
Yes.
and how do we even curate programs that are beginning to change the consciousness of society, And we must not use the arts as a tool for paralysis, because the way that the arts sometimes are used, it's to induce slumber, Sesifuna nje umjivo without any
yeah.
level of consciousness,
Yeah.
And whereas we need to find ways in which we use the arts for what it was created for in the African system.
Absolutely.
It is a humanizing effect. It is something that elevates, something that, reminds you of the essence of being, and reminds you, Uguti, umuntu, because you have value.
You have value.
So,
Right.
and when you curate a program at local level, whether it's a music program or whether it is a visual arts program, you have to think about those elements. How is this going to impact society and the way that people look at themselves?
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question to you. You just got me curious. The importance of corporate governance in the space, is there a lack of? Because I see so many different organizations cropping up. And then obviously there's also a question of municipality relations or collaborations. For instance, we've got the city of eThekwini, we've got Joburg City. Could there be, or has there ever been, those types of relationships from a cultural and arts and culture element, whereby we could see some of our local, because we're focusing on e-business and music, where our local musicians can actually have a circuit between Ithegu and Joburg, where they can actually go and perform there and vice versa, so that there's this relationship that's happening. Has there ever been anything like that, or would you be open to anything like that? Because I will have your counterpart here, and I'm going to pose the same question to him as well.
So I think the first thing we need to recognize is that there's very strong cross-pollination between Ithegu and Johannesburg.
Right.
So and there's a lot of movement of cultural capital between the two cities.
Right.
And many creatives from eThekwini come to Johannesburg to come and share their experiences and also reap economic benefits out of it. But what I think we can also do better is the extent to which Ithegu becomes more receptive to the cultural capital coming from Johannesburg.
Right.
Because I think there's a certain level of protectionism when it comes to the cultural scene in eThekwini. And yes, there's always this perception ukuthi we must close off abantu abasuke eGoli bazosithathela umsebenzi.
Right.
But these are the same people abafike eGoli bazosebenza.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and when you open yourselves up, you are also opening yourselves up to grow.
Right.
And the more you close yourselves, kuba yini kuphela, and then there's no growth, there's no expansion, and there are no new ideas that get injected to actually grow the economy. So, but I think we can do better at a city-to-city level, because what I've also found is that as African cities, we are more open to collaborating with European cities instead of collaborating amongst each other. And I think that there's still a lot of scope to explore, how we can consciously collaborate between the two cities, so that, creatives that are from here can benefit from the platforms. Because Johannesburg has got a lot of platforms.
Oh yes.
More so than any other city in the country. And therefore the creatives from eThekwini, and not just eThekwini, but KwaZulu as a whole, can benefit from those platforms, and similarly there are creatives that can benefit from the platforms eThekwini.
So we need to open up and be open to so many different opportunities. In the nothing about us without us. Look, that's good. It's all good and well, but we must be able to welcome people here and be able to also be welcomed in other spaces as well, so that we can collaborate. Now, I wanna go off to Gift, because Babu Mshudu, you were supporting Gift on his music business network. So I'm curious to know, because I even see that this brother's got a book. He's gonna tell us a little bit more about that. But firstly, tell us, bro, what gift gift yini ayenzile nje ugift in this space nje mesebhala namabhuku nje yabo?
There's a video that says, I think it's 5 seconds, they ask him ubani umkhize athi umkhize ngimi.
I mean,
So
it's
Gift
me,
Mini, yeah.
this guy.
My name is Gift Mdlalosa, but firstly, maybe thank you for having us.
Man, thank you.
And thank you to Vuma FM and your whole team. I see you've got a full house coordination happening here. I need to steal some of them.
E-business and music, Lebaf.
Thank you so much for having us.
Sure, thank you.
Gift Mdlalose is me. My background is music
Right.
and politics. I think you see that in most of the work that I do. You see it in the type of partnerships I get into. There's a lot of musical partnerships and there's a lot of politics involved in
and
it
how you
also.
always dressed in suits, even on a Sunday, Saturday, yonke mihla.
Yeah, Monday to Sunday, I wear suit.
All right, I see.
But I'm from a musical background.
Right.
My father was part of NAPAC. I think it's a performing arts organization that was founded here in Natal in 1963.
Wow.
My father was a guitarist also. My grandfather was one of the most popular guitarists in Mkumbana, if you remember Mkumbana. I think what is it called now?
It's
an English name. Kato Mena. Yeah. So from my father's side, that's the state.
That's amazing.
On my mother's side, my grandmother, can call it in today's language, was a pastor.
Wow.
She's late now. When she left us, that's when I started writing the book, 2023.
Wow.
You met my mother yesterday. So
yes.
That's how I grew up. I grew up with music exposed to me. I grew up with politics exposed to me. So it was either this or that. But I think the calling then took over. Like I explained yesterday, that I went to register political science. Before a month ended in that class, I left and I went to a music school because I was still not sure where do I go to.
So you were a college dropout and then you came back in through music?
I didn't drop out. I was still in Nwabiza when it's still a first
transition.
You transition.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And I came back to Devon from Pretoria and studied music, did my 4-year music technology qualification, and it's been music since then. I think I worked only for 2 years for a company. Since 2018, I've been self-employed until today.
Wow. Look, I don't think I'll talk more on the artist management element because you've done that. We've already introduced that part. But we've seen you managing quite a few interesting musicians. Thokozani Langa, the legendary, is one of the names I've seen you across. Minang balabantu ngikubone ngabo. So ungangicorrecta ke ungibekela uthi no bafo wena balabambalwa mina yabo. I've seen Ubuhle, I've seen Miss Hillary.
It's quite a lot. Some of them I didn't personally manage them because I think, like I said, when I started my company 2018,
right,
just before COVID ended, that's when I stopped managing artists personally. Then my company was managing those artists. So you'd see, we sign an artist, but they wouldn't really be managed by me. They would be managed by people from my team.
Wow.
So even now, we've got more than 16 artists to manage, but unfortunately, because of the work I do now, which is more educational, I try to avoid attaching myself to personal individual or personalities or whatever. But it's quite a lot, and from across all genres. Piano, there's something they call Shigaza and Lipopo, which is popping. We've got artists there to sign from there. Maskandi, we've got I think 4. We've got a lot of albums that we've released through Maskandi. We've got Piano. Buhlewi was not signed to us, but we made a lot of music with her. In fact, one of her biggest career songs, Hamba Wena, was I would say curated on an NR by me, released under our company.
That's amazing.
Wave. So I've done quite a lot of work. Artist management side, I worked at Kamvalit, which is a division of Kalao.
Yeah.
We all know what Kalao is.
So you worked with Kalao Jasmine from artist management.
I worked with Kamvalit, who's Coach Matenga, was the head of artist management.
Wow.
That's the guy who took me in, and we worked with a lot of people. I would say all of the Kalao artists. I think 2018, Ababu Siso were the thing, and we were doing most of the work behind the scenes. Some of them don't know that we were doing the work.
So I'm got you both when it comes to the space. And
no, I understand what is happening.
You've been around, and then there's another transition as well, because now you said, my team will handle this. Tell me a little bit more about that, bro, and maybe more so what is in that book, why should people buy that book, and all of that. But I want to know about the academy, Kafushan, and we don't have a lot of time. Networks, the network that we attended, and also what to look forward to in the book.
So, I think in my early years, I realized that maybe I don't have to start having gray hair like Umhlekazi to the one to start writing. Maybe for what I know at that time, it is worth of sharing.
Right, right.
That's what I realized. I don't have to have 30 years in the industry for me to share what I have. 15 years is enough to share something, especially if you've got academic background. Because I think our industry is, we always complain about it being unregulated and all that. But
Right.
I honestly feel like people are just not educated.
So it's not the industry, it's the people in the industry.
And there's something we shot with, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, with PPC recently. And they were asking me about the industry being unregulated. I said, the industry is regulated.
Right.
It's very regulated.
Yeah.
If you really want to pay attention to it, there's law for everything.
There's
But the
Copyright
people who
Act.
must apply it,
Yes.
they're not.
Communications Act, a lot of things.
It is regulated.
Yeah.
Are we applying the regulations? No, we are not. So that's where the question should be. Why and who should be applying those rules and those regulations?
That's very interesting because someone recently said that there's also a publicized, I think there was a gazetted element of the AI, that there's
Yeah.
going to be public engagements on that and questions of people are going.
Yeah.
Being in this industry, having had worked with different people, do you think people, artists, musicians, people that want the stage, they want to perform, are they going to go to these engagements to talk AI?
The issue about our sector is everyone believes they have to have a say. In
Right.
it. Our sector, everyone believes that they must own something from it. I'm a taxi owner. I've got some money. I see someone carrying a guitar. I sign them. I open a label.
Right.
Now I'm a label owner. Then Tando will call me. I'm speaking on behalf of record labels. What do you understand about record labels?
Right.
That's our industry is where it is because most of the people who are running it, if you sit down with them, you realize that it's all flow and no content.
True.
You realize that it's all the big words, but if you really say, can you put in the work, then you realize that you are speaking by yourself, you are to yourself. So it is not about the sector. I mean, the music industry is surviving in other countries.
Right.
South SA also, it's growing.
It's growing.
But are we really doing it the way that we should be doing it? Are we really applying the fundamentals of, even if you're saying an artist manager, I think Umhlongo yesterday from the city of eThekwini said, the moment you start seeing him more than his work, then you know he's doing it wrong. Come to artist management. We know artist managers now more than we know artists. Why is it that? So that's the book that I wrote is merely about that. It's the business of music, and it is my experiences.
Right.
It has a lot of contributors. Like
Okay.
a lot of contributors. Like even the guys who were here, there are chapters which they contributed here. A lot of organizations that contributed to it. The book was launched with the University of Johannesburg.
Right.
So it also maybe says something about the content that's inside, that the university is backing what we are doing. Not
Yes.
only that, we've got
Yes.
3 other universities. UP also, after this, we are doing UP. We're doing Nelson Mandela University. So it is not only an academic book. It is more of how do I navigate the industry.
So someone who's trying to get into the music industry can open the book and sort of find themselves in this very complex environment called the music industry.
And not only trying to get in, I think we released the book on the 5th of March. She was at my office a day before.
Sikhuluma ngomahu ke bafethu.
and-
Ninaye ngicela ukuchaza nje.
Yeah.
Okay, qhubeka ke mfethu.
And she said to me, I think we were speaking recently about her show. And the one thing that came from that was that book is actually not about people who are still trying to enter. It is actually beneficial to the ones who now believe they are
Who are
doing
in
it,
the industry.
who are inside. Because
Okay.
if we speak about the things that are happening and you are not happening with those things, then you have nothing to benefit there.
How
So-
much is this book and where is it available?
It's available online. We've got a music store. In Joburg also, it's available at our offices. I've got 2 offices that side in Midrand and also at the Samro building.
Oh wow.
But we've got an online store that delivers across the country. And
Malin.
it's 350. Crazy enough, we get more orders outside the country. I think we've delivered more than 316 copies in Namibia.
Okay.
There's a station in Zimbabwe called, I think it's Rise or something. The guys, they also ordered a lot of copies. So we deliver, and there's Zambia also, Rwanda, the guys from Kigali, I think it's called The Universe. So I'm seeing more orders coming outside of SA than here.
So with that said, it's amazing to say that there's orders going out. I'm hoping that people will start buying because kahle we do need a book like that tells us how to navigate this very, very, difficult industry.
Yeah.
And I think if you will give me a moment to just, crash out a little bit because guys, Sigui music, yabo, industry that has many industries in it, and you need to find yourself within that industry to know what's kahle uba in the space. And I think a book like this will tell you what's one uba. Maybe I'm hoping that you even cover for a composer who are actually calling themselves producers and forget to go to kahle. I'm actually a songwriter. So if I made a beat, I actually wrote a song. And manje mina I foco my earning potential as a songwriter if mina, for instance, ngizbiza ngokuthi ngiyi-producer. Yebo?
Yeah.
So,
We actually told to Katunya, man.
Hey, that's my crash out moment, man.
Yeah, we actually have a
crash
chapter
out
that
of this.
defines all these roles.
Yeah, this guy, I told you guys, he's bullying me on my segment. Your crash out.
That defines
And he's still doing it.
beat making
Might as
versus
well.
producers. We've got a chapter that defines distributors versus record labels. We've got a chapter that defines artist managers versus personal managers and all those things. So our industry is full of confusion when it comes to roles and who does what.
Yeah.
So if we define them, then people now start doing what they should be doing, and we start complaining to wrong people for wrong roles.
Aha. Like uMaspala, for instance, akasenze lot.
Yeah.
So the crash out moment yami ke
Before I
angiphazamiseke
cut
yona.
you. Yeah.
The other crash out element is that guys, don't let bullies bully you, right? Ningabavumeli. And then secondly, ngiyacela
Let them
bakwethu.
inspire you.
Oh yeah, let them inspire you. And remember, abantu abanjengo Gift, to be all honest, yabo, they did not wait for opportunities. Instead, they built capacity until opportunity yabathola futhi bathi if I ngitholi opportunity ngizoyakha mina. So
Yeah.
how different are you from this man that you can't do it for yourself? You are very, very capable. So ngiyacela uyibukisha ndese yakho ukuthi kahle it's not just a passion, it's business, because passion literally is a product. Now, parting shot, I'm going to ask the both of you one question. Is our industry in South Africa, ngikhuluma music industry, is it informal? And if so, how do we get it to be formal? And then say, Valai. Ngisho lonto because the South African Cultural Observatory tells us, Uguti, the cultural and creative sector is currently sitting at around about 3% of the GDP as a contributor, where exactly that's where agriculture is sitting as well, which is amazing. It's very significant. But for some reason, Astateg is serious. So are we informal? Nap, right? Are we informal? And if so, how do we become formal?
Look, there are significant aspects that are quite formal, and then there are some that are informal, like every other sector, But what is important is to understand also the work that is being done to formalize the sector. I mean, we were here for the Music Business Network,
Right.
Which is an initiative started by Gift Mdlalose in Johannesburg.
Right.
We hosted a number of them. We saw that the format is working in terms of imparting critical information about how to formalize your own, enterprise, formalizing your talent around your business.
Absolutely.
And now we are rolling it out. He took it to Cape Town, and now it's in eThekwini. And we had a lovely session yesterday. We're hoping that there will be an uptake, particularly from the eThekwini municipality,
of course,
to maybe have a rollout of many of these sessions. Because it's a great initiative. We had a sold out house yesterday because of the demand for the service. So we know it's needed because many people want to operate in the formal sense instead of just being informal.
Thank you.
I think it took my words, so I'm just gonna say Nam, what Neo said. Yeah, but I think in response to that question, I'm just gonna respond by saying it's a bit of both. Like Umhlekazi was saying, there is regulations that exist and tells you exactly what you must do. So it is formalized, but are we exercising those powers that we have and all that?
Right.
And then going to the question that you asked me that I didn't answer in closing. The reason why we started the Music Business Academy is because exactly of the question that you just asked now. People wanting to formalize themselves, but they don't know how. People wanting to study the business, but they don't know how. That's why you'll see the types of partnerships we get into with one of the biggest banks we have in the continent that supports us, because like you're talking about the GDP now, we are actually above agriculture. And if agriculture is so organized with the Agri-SA and all those things, do we have such in the music industry? If we do have, how effective are they? How effective is our RISA? How effective are our CMOs or MLCs, they were saying? Are they doing enough? Because we generate a lot of money, but is that money really going to the pockets of those who create the money?
That's the question.
Let's cut it then.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Nizwele from Ingwele Industries, Kulumage, the head of culture from the city of Joburg, Ubaba, Uvuyisile Mshudulu. We've got the dude that I don't even know to define ngani, ngoba founder and director of
Let's use my professional title. I'm a music technologist.
Music technologist, for ukehla, right? But that's only me who is now going to be calling him that. Please keep actually staying in tune for more interactive, very educational sessions like this where we actually unpack the music business as a whole. There's more episodes that will be coming, but right now we want to say thank you to everyone for watching, for tuning in, to our guests. We appreciate you. Please doing what you keep doing. And right now, uthando nyame nomjidothala inyama right here on the big mighty Vuma FM Business YeMusic podcast.